So this 1990 rum is actually two different distillations. It's 1985 and 1990. This is the most incredible rum I have ever tasted. Its journey is mind-blowing. It gets distilled in two different distilleries in Jamaica in 1985 and 1990. It spends a little time in Jamaica. Then it goes to Canada, where it spends a couple of decades aging slowly. Then back to America, down south. Then back up to Vermont, where we put it in a French oak cask. So you have Jamaica, Canada, America, and France with the French oak. So this is a truly global rum. This is an extreme fine rum. It's vintage rum, going along with the entire house of BHAKTA being a house of vintages like our 2013 bourbon. So if you like rum, and if you're into really powerful, rich rum, this is 125 proof. You're not gonna find anything like this. Spirits lovers, especially rum lovers, this is not an inexpensive bottle, but this is gonna be the best you've ever tried. It's powerful, it's strong, you can drop a bit of water into it, but this rum is absolutely out of this world.
The light that we're picking up, it explodes like a piece of amber that's been set in a crystal almost, and I'm marveling at the legs on this stuff. I think with that high proof, I mean, you see it, the alcohol, when you swirl it into the glass, is actually, it's not dropping at all. It's sticking to the sides. It almost forms like a mountainous relief pattern on the back of the glass in a way I've never seen before with the spirit. It doesn't move when it's back there. I'm interested to see if it's going to be overwhelming on the palate, something that, proof that high with the legs like that.
On the palate, it explodes. It comes in powerful with the 125 proof, but it keeps going, and a very, very long, rich finish on it. It's balanced, but it is powerful. This has got a lot of spice, and it's dry as a bone for a rum. Dry as a bone.
You know, having tasted this again, especially after the Armagnac cask finish, I would say this tastes wine-like a bone-dry Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire. I'm getting like almost these flinty notes, these fresh tropical fruit notes, and as you said, that dryness, which I think makes it so mouth-watering, coupled with a super long finish. And I can assure you that for 120 plus proof spirit, there's absolutely no burn. And not only that, it's what I would describe as a smooth finish. A lot of times with these high proof older spirits, what you'll get is a nice warmth on the way down that doesn't rise to the level of a burn. But here you get this super long finish with like zero harshness on the way down. One of the remarkable things about this spirit is the tasting notes. You do get the faintest hints of what I would describe as your typical rum notes in terms of some of those tropical fruits manifesting themselves, whether it's a faint hint of banana or the candied orange or a whiff of citrus and perhaps just the slightest hint of that vanilla frosting that you seem to get with a lot of older rums. But there's so much more going on here. Just an explosion of allspice, black pepper on the palate. So those candied orange notes, just candied fruit notes in general. Super long finish, tons of complexity. And the spirit evolves. You get one thing on the nose, where I would say just the faintest whiff of rum, but lots of apricot on the palate as well. But so much spice. If I would say what distinguishes this rum from just about any other rum that I've ever had, it's that absolute explosion of spice. And I would say that, from my recollection, that manifested itself with the original samples that we tasted, the earlier versions prior to the introduction of this spirit into the Armagnac cask. But I would say, if anything, what that finish in those Armagnac casks have done is it's muted some of those rum notes, which were slightly more prominent before the cask finish, and just teased out, drew out, just those incredible, complex spice, candied fruit, frankly, almost single malt Scotch type notes that you would not expect to see out of an old rum.
This was my first purchase of spirit as part of BHAKTA Spirits, and I remembered I was talking to a spirits broker. His name is Richard Wolf. God rest his soul. He's since passed. But he said, listen, I have this a small batch of this really amazing rum. I'm going to send it to you for, he said, organoleptical observation. I'd never heard that word before. So I looked it up and I said, okay, we're going to do some organoleptical observation, which I figured means a tasting. He sent some of the samples up and we were like, wow, wow. This is like nothing else we've ever tried in the world of rum, and in a very good way. And its journey, we bought it from a whiskey distiller in like Tennessee. That somehow had gotten it from a guy in Canada who bought it from Jamaicans in the 1990s. And so it didn't fit into any particular, profile, because it was Caribbean rum distillate that had been aged in older oak barrels in Canada. And the combination, so in rye barrels, so it picks up some of that spice. When we tasted it, I was like, we have to get this. Now, we didn't know what we were going to do with it.
Not just we have to get this, it's like, how much can you sell us?
Yeah,
because we want every drop.
Which was nothing, which was nothing. So I think we're putting out 1,000 bottles or so of this. It's really, I don't know, it's a sentimental spirit for me. It's my first buy. Again, we bought it not even knowing what we were going to do with it. It was that amazing. But this is deeply part of the history of the BHAKTA Spirits project. I can assure you, and I'll say it again and again, if you're into rum, if you're into whiskey, if you're into special spirits overall, this is a bottle that you need in your collection. I'm going to go back and talk a little bit about the concept of drinking vintage spirits. So this has a 1990 vintage on it. While it includes some 85, we put the 1990 on it because it's the youngest stuff in here. Your drinking history in this, 1990, big year, Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait. 85, great decade in America, sunrise, morning in America. What does this bring to life? This rum brings to life an international journey.